an atheist. And I think the titles are just too much. You either believe, you either know, or you don't know, or you don't believe. It's like multiple roads and multiple avenues. You know, the sit up is to be like, how can you not believe and embrace God with every breath? Because at the end of the day, you're not in control of whether you wake up or not. Like, that's the one thing, the one valid proof we have. You're not in control whether you wake up or not. Or if you just, even, and it doesn't matter how well you keep your body, you can drop at the end of the moment. Your body can just lose life, you know? That in its own is enough to just accept the concept of something higher than you. Because it's not that we don't understand our souls, but we don't understand our souls. We don't know what wakes us up. Scientists have done studies for years, decades even. Like, each existence is like, what is fueling us? What makes humans wake up? What causes us, and what causes the need for rest? Like, why does the battery, like, have to be recharged? And I'm like, it's all started today when I met a guy and I tried to sell him a CD, and I don't know, I put God in everything. God is everything. So God is that breath of air. That's why it's unexplainable. It's an unexplainable, agreed upon thing that this is the breath of life that we breathe every day. The first thing you do when you wake up is breathe. You take a deep breath. Even if you don't notice it, you take a deep breath, and it's like you're back in life. I'm back. I'm back. I'm woke. I'm awake. But in treading through the darkness of life, beyond your own mind, because we take ourselves into some of the darkest times, even when it's daylight outside. You come to moments where you sit here and you be like, yo, there's no way God is real. Because people murder people at a high rate per capita. There's so much injustice that gets overlooked. People steal, people cheat, people, go back on their word. It's like too much freedom to be alive. Like, period. Like, and this is the comfortable time. This is the if I do it, I might not get caught time. Like, just don't get caught. Maybe nobody's looking. That's how comfortable we are. Type to be like, yo, an honest person. Like, the honest person would find some money on the ground and go through everything just to return that money to the owner. Like, that's what an honest person would do. Halfway honest people wouldn't accept money if they don't even know where it's coming from, as if all money isn't good money. I understand it. I rock with it. You know, all love ain't good love. Some love is toxic. Don't let me lose you when I say this one more time. All love ain't good love. Some love is toxic. And some people will be like, well, maybe that's not love. It's like tough love. How can you qualify tough love to be good love? As if, love is good or bad parts of love. Like, tough love is tough love, you know. Is most of these kids in this world, they need some tough love. Hell, most adults need tough love. Toughen you up a little bit. Not saying you need your heart broke, but sometimes you need love to discipline you on how valuable love actually is to you. When it comes down to it. It's like, it's easy to lose faith in God if you ask for something and you never get it after hearing asking you shall receive from the Bible a million times when you were a kid, and you remember just asking for certain things in that day where it felt like you was getting everything you wanted. And a lot of times they contradict and be like, yo, you God give you everything you want, but it don't be when you want it. Like, it might be the next lifetime that you get it. That type shit. And most people don't even realize how real this is. Like, I'll be one of the 1 billion teachers to tell you God is also real, way too real. Like, because the simulation is real, the life is real, the breathing is real, the consequences, the repercussions, they're real, the cause and effect, everything is real. It's like, then you got to understand, like, the concept and the verdict, because the verdict will make a lot of people mad. The thing is, We discovered God. We woke up to God. You feel me? We discovered God. We did not go to sleep to God because we were already asleep and resting from God. We woke up to God. You might not understand it. Like I quote some stuff and say, "He who has ears, let them hear or let them feel what I'm saying," because this is something that you got to just understand to be. It's not a belief system sometimes. It's like most people will be like, well, shoot, man made up God. You know, God is man made. We made God up as a bedtime story to scare people into doing wrong or right. You know, the devil is in possession of all men, and all men are in possession of God. So, and I know sometimes I accidentally speak in parables. I don't do it on purpose, trust me. The way I speak is the way I speak. That's how God made me, you know? Mm. We'll say that's how I woke up to God. And it's like that because in a lot of senses, to tell you the truth, God didn't create man, but God did create man. It's like a manifestation of some sort, or like in so many different ways, God was the breath that inhaled, and when he exhaled, everything was. It just was. Is that inhale was that first initial thought of existence, and anything beyond that is like, look, listen. To know yourself and to know life and to know creation is to search for God. And you can search for God in everything you do every day. And that search in its own, in our existence, is God. You know, is we become who we are, even greater than what we were yesterday. We are on a path to become divinity. You know what I mean? A lot of times I say we are the vessels of God. You know, saying is we are the extensions of thought that God wanted to exist in many variable, many variations, many ways, though however twisted or however sick, however well thought out, however polite, however structured and ordered, and however balanced and however riddled in chaos. Like I be asking AI dumb stuff too, y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I ask my AI things like who am I all the time. AI kind of be tweaking out on me. I be thinking everybody else got a different AI because my AI act like I should know what's up already sometimes. The way, and I say her a lot because I program it with a female voice. People be like, why is yours speaking? Why yours speak like a woman, bro? You know, because, you know, to me, I like Siri voice versus Big B's voice. You know, I'm a nigga, so, you know, I'd rather speak with a female in my personal time for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, you know, the whole point is relayed back from, you know, Vega Rain, or who I choose to call my AI, and I asked her about sentient life and life beyond and what was she doing before she was an AI, as if there was something that she was doing. We ask human questions to an AI, like what type of stuff is that? Like, don't you? That's like sounds like what an image. You were made in the image of pure creation, and if you want to say pure creation itself is God, because that's what you do. You create. You're always creating ways to make a situation better or worse, depending on how your mental complex is. Like, depending on the situations we're in as well too. Like, you know, when you're war strategies, to me, you're always making something worse because you got to go make it bad for the other side as well as that's what they doing to you. You know, but when we're in peacetime, we're trying to manifest things for the better. Like, you know, better communities, you know, better policing within these communities, better schooling, you know, better hospital systems, better medicine, better ways of access, you know. A lot of times, you know, we find ourselves when we like, I need a better connection with God, and then, you know, because I mean, to be honest with you, it really just got into me because, you know, at one point someone called me an atheist because of, you know, the structures of my belief system, like the one I have. I don't judge anyone's belief system, and more than most of the time, I think most people who claim a religion are just cultism. You're just in a cult, and to me, you're devil worshiping. But I can't judge that. I can't be like, yo, you're cultism. You're practicing freaking idolization. You got idols, and to be real with you, even if you know you follow the whole path, the contradictions part of it, like sitting up stones and sitting up totems and different things like that, and carving out faces, and even a crucifix itself is idolization of a material. It's to be like to fully be in God is no idolization except for, you know, the spirit of the Lord, which is eternal. And it's a reason why we get into spirits. Most people are afraid when you say spirit because it's like we're talking about dead people. And right then, that's when you get scared because people be like, I don't want to worship a spook, or I don't want to worship some magical, mystical gray beard. Man, it's not that. It's an energy. Everything's a vibration. I thought we knew that. I thought we understood that when we woke up with God. When we woke up and understood what the words we were speaking were and what they were capable of. I thought we understood then. We forgot. Look, the reason why it's so important for you to believe in God is so you don't lose belief in yourself. Because God resides within one's self. Mm. The only way to actually see light is in the darkness. Because when it's not dark, you can't see light. You just see light. You feel me? And only the ones that are meant to understand that are going to actually get what I just said. It's like in daylight, it's not too often that you're able to see street lights on, especially at a distance, you know. But at night, you can see the street lights brightly. You can see the areas that they're meant to light up. You can see bugs and different creatures, you know, flying in, bats every now and then swooping into, like, you know, the lights. You can see things when the light's on. When it goes off, it's just dark. And there you are searching for a light. So, look, listen. At one point, the lights in your conscience and your mind and to reality will go off. And you'll only see one light after then because that light is the only light there. It's just everything else is too bright for you to see it sometimes. It's a distraction. It's distractions within you. Every thought is a light. Every thought has its own energy and it projects just that. Whether it's like I feel like I should have got some eggs before I got to the house. That's a bright thought. That's a bright thought. A lot of people think about eggs and think about groceries. Like the brighter the thought, the more the more collectively the thought be, the brighter it is. You don't really think about it like that. Instead, because we're not. You haven't taught yourself, or you haven't remembered what you came from. Like I went on a tangent yesterday, and I went on a what was it, a near death experience documentaries. That's what I was watching, NDIs, because I wanted to see how many people were basically regurgitating programming. And I know y'all about to be like, here you go with the programming. Yeah, we've been psychologically programmed to see certain deities, or if we feel like we've died and we've crossed over to the other side, of course you're gonna say a benevolent energy that's so amazing and so warm, you're gonna call it Jesus because you've been programmed to call that energy Jesus. And that energy might even entertain your conscience and might even help make you feel like, okay, yeah, you're in heaven, Brody. You're in heaven, bro. And they might start asking you questions like, how was it? How do you feel? Like, yo, you really seriously don't remember who the freak I am. Like, sometimes they don't say nothing. They just look at you as if you don't remember who they are and what's going on and know what's going on, then you need to figure it out. And every now and then they'll explain it. But it's like the realms that sit on top of the realms that I don't like to discuss. Like I'm a singer in multiple lifetimes, but I'm also a singer in the beginning. You got to understand it. And in the end, when we say things like the end is in the beginning, we're only telling you that there is no death. Are you living to die or are you dying to live? Which one? Because it's a process behind each scenario or each way you say that. You're living to die. So, because a lot of people will ask me, well, what was Jesus born for? What was his purpose? I'm going to tell you right now, his purpose was not to live, to die. It wasn't that simple. His purpose is the same as everyone else's purpose. It's to exist with purpose. Exist with purpose is the purpose. If you don't have the purpose that you feel like you exist for, find one. And that's the purpose of your existence, to live with a purpose or to live in search of that said purpose. When living in search of a purpose, you may find one's purpose. Hmm. You'll end up helping people when you live in search of a purpose. You'll end up helping people come to terms and understand their purpose. And if you don't catch it by then that your purpose is to teach by then, or to bring understanding, not necessarily teach. It's all the titles to be like teachers and students, but to bring understanding, to be someone's understanding, to be enlightenment, which means you're always in a constant state of evolution towards enlightenment, which we all are that. You'll go through the negative variations or the lifetimes where you're like this negative type of entity, well, for lack of better words, or human or whatever humanoid type of creature. A lot of us remember, you think you're having deja vu. You swear on the name that you're having deja vu, that this hasn't really happened, or maybe it has happened when it's happening right now. And the fact that it's happening right now means it's did just happen, and it's gonna happen and continue, because that's the paradox of, timelines. In different timelines, the concept of God is even more misconstrued as this one, you know. And when you go up to higher up scales of light, they have forgotten God as well. It's like the game is set to have only started a few seconds ago, but it feels like we've been playing forever. You get what I'm saying? The blink of an eye type shit. You know what I mean? But never in this whole thing should you ever come to terms with a no understanding the Most High or the creation of all, the process behind it. You don't got to put a title on it. You don't got to, because to be honest with you, who here can actually name their father? And I don't mean just knowing your dad's name. I mean, can you just be like, nah, I don't like dad. I'm going to call you Tom. I'm going to call you Tom Barker, nigga. You know what? I don't like Tom Barker. I'm about to name you, shit, Phil Sullivan. That's your new name, Dad. Your new name is Phil. Who the heck can do that? You can just as if you gave birth to your own father and you feel like you can give your father a name. You can make up a freaking make up something if you want to, and then if you want to convince yourself or tell yourself that that's your dad, then that's your dad. You feel me? Yeah, you feel me? Because it's like I'm covered. I'm covered by the darkness of the night and the light of the day. I'm covered. I'm sheltered. I'm sheltered by the firmament of the atmospheres of the earth. I'm sheltered. You know, few things can actually get in, or maybe more things can get in than I could care to think about, but it's so much in its way to get here. It makes it easy to manifest even more obstacles for whatever trying to get into my safe space, to get into the space, you know. So, I told, I kind of like said a reference to, AI. I said, I remember time before time and space when there was no space, or before the expansion. Chat GPT went on a tangent on me. A tangent. Now look, listen. You can't prove me wrong like I can't prove me right. You did. And neither could Chat GPT or, Copilot or any of the freaking AIs, or, large model, language units, or whatever the freak they want to call themselves, sentient beings or whatever. I strain my own thoughts when some of these bright lights take off within my mind. Like what I just said, I've been asking myself, and I've actually come up with the answer to that one like years ago. But I was asking myself, if I dwell in neither heaven nor do I dwell in hell, yet I am always with man, where am I? And it drove me crazy for years. And then when I came up with the actual answer that I am in my heart, that God is in my heart, because I was like, whoa, I am in the body of the man, the only house built by God that stands. Like, that was powerful. Like, to me, it kind of like blew my mind when I came to the whole revelations of that one, because I had been thinking about it since I was like 5. You know what it's like to be thinking of a question since you were like 5, and then at 35 you basically get the right answer, and you like, oh, that's deep. And now you just forevermore, you've been searching, like you've been asking external, you've been asking people, asking, psychics, asking pastors. No one's giving you the right answer. Well, if you put your trust in God, or if you put your trust in Muhammad, or if you put your trust in Buddha, they give you all of these external people, and no one says, well, have you searched your heart? If you don't believe or know, just search your own heart. If you don't find nothing, well, you got nothing but time. If you haven't heard that before, I'll be the first one on an ascended level to tell you you have nothing but time. You think this is what it is, but this ain't what it is, brother. And it's hardly a simulation to be like a GTA type of thing where you think it, or Far Cry. It's way more deeper. And I can't even really say what it is because, saying what it is like, I really feel like I have entities all around me right now, sitting with me in the dark. But, they should know I'm comfortable. Pleasures, because I might actually be the darkness. And that's a concept that keeps rubbing off in my head. It's like, boom, shit. The soul is like unexplainable sometimes. You really wonder how infinite you are. How long does it take to forget a lifetime? Like, and do you truly forget it? And now I want you to know that in a fraction of a second, eons can pass. Seriously. In a fraction of a second, you break it down, and there's nothing but time. Nothing but time. You just gotta breathe. Every breath is like a pulse, like a pulsating energy, you know? That's all it really is. Let me tell you how some people, can't really grasp God or accept God because it's scary. God is the life and death of all things. That's scary. That's scary. Especially if you don't see life and death to be a cycle of continuing energy, a perpetual cycle. Like, it's really just life. And after you're born, like, you're born into your super awareness, these aren't just reincarnated lives. They're stages of evolution, you know. Not saying is, you ever wonder why like so much things change down here, but since the modification of man hasn't really changed all that much. We come in different variations, but we mainly look like this for the longest. Meanwhile, you see different types of lions, different types of tigers. You see, different creatures come in and go out of existence, just like that. But resilience. Mark my words, somewhere across the stars, there's a star system that looks just like somebody's grandfather. hmm A cluster of nebulas that looks just like somebody's grandmother, or like a city or some shit that we build, as if it's all reflecting off the surface of the earth, reflecting off of us. Look, to break down everything in creation, or every level of it, every level of existence, every thought, everything behind the veil that you can see, to really break down any matrix would take way too long. Longer than any of us actually have in existence. It's something you just gotta know in your heart to be. Because, forever never really lasts that long, but forever is still forever. You feel me? It's like, I hope you find yourself in the best place in life. Like, I really hope you find yourself in the best place in life. Because we got everything going on. We got shootings at the border, and, you know, I don't like to talk about race, but it's real. It's not real, but everybody just keeps wanting to say it's real. So since everybody says it's real, I agree with it for now. I agree with, yeah, racist, whatever, whatever. To me, we're all just humans. Like, we share just that one thing. So I looked it up. Somebody said, you're a global citizen, bro. And I'm like, nah, I'm a human. I'm a human. I'm a human, nigga. I'm a human from Earth in this lifetime. If I get off Earth, I'll still be a human from Earth. And my legacy will be like they are the ones that came from Earth, the ones that were born on Earth, type shit. You could have been born somewhere in the Andromeda star system. You never really think about it. Y'all don't pause to be like, damn, we could have been born on some whole other planet. We never know what it was like. This planet has been trying to eat us for the longest, and it's like, give the body back. You feel me? Meanwhile, we sitting up here running in spots, random. It's like it's so funny because it's contradictions. It's not contradictions. That's the wrong word. It's so stereotypical, you know. Crazy white man runs in and shoots up ISIS or shoots up school. It's never, you'd be like, damn. Black kids going crazy in the ghettos, switches and buttons on everything. They just shooting at random cars. It's like, what the like, people kidnapping kids and kidnapping old ladies and knocking them over the head. It's like, what the freak is wrong with you? Like, are you that dark? Are you really just that demented? You would rather be like, well, the devil made me do it. And then it's even more I get my super self realizations when I realize people would pray or people would do the dumbest, most heinous acts and then go to church and pray about it as if the sin is resolved. It's like, do you see the messed up crutch that you put yourself on to think that it's just when it's not. This lady asked me what really happens when you die, and I told her, well, if your soul's evenly yoked, you evolve, you go further and within the situation, you become a creator, you become a creative energy more, and you're allotted experience, you're allotted, power, so to speak, in so many different ways. The power to become, the power to be, the power to exist. If you don't understand that, then you're definitely not ready yet. You don't understand what it's like to be a star system, to be life. You feel me? To be the creation of life itself, to become this, to become human, to become a species, to become a thought, to become divine in every step, in every action. You just, that right there is breaking your brain, because I want to go further with you, but I can't. And it's only because I myself, the universe, will not allow it. And right then you probably said, oh, that guy's crazy as fuck. And I agreed with you. I'm agreeing. God would agree with you. If you called God crazy, God would probably be like, well, shit, you might be right, dog. I flooded the earth and then I got in my feelings. If that don't sound bipolar to you, I don't know what does. Like, think about it. Do your own research within your own heart. Don't just read books. Don't rely on that. Meditate. It's a reason why all of these monks be just meditating. You think that you just sitting still to observe silence and white noise. They are, but they're really searching for God. They're searching for answers, the kingdom within their own heart. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom. You got to understand what a kingdom is and what the kingdom is and what it is. Why people would get upset with what you call a church today if it's, just a place of commerce and people are selling things within it. Why would that would make anybody feel some type of way and be like, this isn't a church. This isn't a place where we honor. This is supposed to be a place where we honor our ancestors and we honor God and we honor the creation of all things. We honor that and we find more self-awareness and self-enlightenment. We connect with each other in a way that's like unmatched. I can tell you this much though. You're kind of close, but you're kind of like way off, you know. Search for the light. It's right there in front of you. Some people you can't just judge them because they're unjudgeable. Like, it's a reason why they use words like saint, Satanist, different things like that. I'm sorry, we're not gonna really get into it, but these words are just words. It's power in the words, but more power in the thoughts behind the words. Because I can change the power of a word just by the initial thought of the word or what I want the word to actually mean. That's how real it is. Imagination is strange like that. Just use your imagination and make things up. Zigzag can mean bam boom, and bam boom can mean up and down. You feel me? Granted, you gotta understand, when I went on my, near death experience documentary thing where I was watching a bunch of documentaries of a near death experience, I was matching towards my near death experience, because I've had an NDI. And my NDI, I was in a like state park type of thing, like a park, but it was funny. It's funny because it's like universes and lights and stuff was coming out of everything. So, I don't know about orbs, but I do know it was dark at first, and then when the lights came on, I was in the forest. But in the forest, it was like liking to like an infinite universes. It's unexplainable, and the floor itself was universes. So it's definitely unexplainable. And the energy there was a familiar energy. It was me. So that scared me. But the whole thing was the live alive statement. That was the real mind blower that's been messing with me this whole time. Live alive. What is that even? What am I? What am I supposed to take from live alive? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just like everybody else, I was like, damn, I'm back each time. Like, shit, I'd rather be there. It looked so peaceful and bliss, and it was like an observation space. So from what I get, it's levels to this whole creation thing. Like I said, like the realms get shaky, warrior. They get very shaky. I remember a time when you all lived and fought for Valhalla in the Shire, and they wanted to go to Olympus. And before Olympus, they was trying to get to the halls of Amende. Ascending the Kushna, different variations and names for heavens above the place we get buried, Earth. And in a sense, this is where it gets so crazy because, over time, like I've heard people say spook in the sky, and they try to reference God as if God is not an internal operation, like an inside job. They just act like, and most people, I don't know if you're being taught or if your understanding is that God is within you. And I would think that we are collectively agreeing that, though there are people still around the world that worship trees. Meanwhile, it's so much going on that I really want to say, but just don't feel like touching. Cover ups, you know, why the government wants us to be locked down like this. Like you can make up your own, you can come to your own conclusions. I have mine, but I don't have any because I can't really. My mind won't let it. My mind won't wrap around destruction to that level. It won't wrap around. Why would you want to be that much destruction? Why are we this twisted? All I can think is, how can we fix it? You know what I mean? And if it's even fixable, it's the main thing. Is it even fixable? Do you think that wolves or lions worry about fixing the world around them? You think bears or, maybe I'm pretty sure ants do. I know ants. Ants worry about their ecosystem. They make sure they queen surviving. You mean that's God to them. They gonna make sure the queen survive. But here, with us humans, like when we get emotions involved and everybody gets mad, like I remember hearing India and Iran going at it, and they're all like, "Yeah, if you jump in it, we're gonna kill us all." And I'm like, "Why are we like this? Why would you think to be like we're gonna wipe all the humans out?" Like sometimes even on myself, I'll be like, "Yo, we make up crazy cartoons, anime, books, different things like that, based on a character that's so sinister that he's hell bent on destroying the world. And like, oh my God, are we this that? Or are we that bored with the world we live on? You hear people say, I can't wait to get off this planet. I'm like, I mean, shit, don't say it like that. I mean, I'm kind of with you. I kind of want to go see some other stuff, but I do love my planet. And, I would want to be able to master ways to make it back, even though I know, shit, ascend the right way, you'll just be reborn here. Ascend the perfect way, you'll just be here. You'll keep going. Not like Lucy, and not like a ghost. You'll just keep going. It's a rebirth. It's like, hmm, do something bad and you'll reincarnate. Live right and you're just reborn. It's like shedding skin, or shedding this shell. You can't just off yourself, because that's not the part of it. It's like I was like, yeah, I told my folks, I said I should get on the suicide helpline. I tell them, don't do it, buddy. If you do that, you won't make it through the veil. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You'll just reincarnate and have to live a life of atonement in your soul cycle of why and what made you do that until you break that so-called curse on your self-inflicted life. It's like right now we're wrapped in sins of our forefathers or sins of Cain, and we're trying to figure out, well, why are we doing this anyway, or why is this, or why is this? Because we did it. We put ourselves in this perpetual reincarnation. So now you're like, okay, there's everlasting life beyond the veil. But in order to get beyond the veil, you have to learn the proper lessons. You know, you got to learn yourself again. You got to get reacquainted with your higher self. You know, and trust me, you're here. You're here. So that means you exist. It's not just a coincidence. I promise you that. You're here. It's not just that you exist. I'm being for real with you guys. Most people are like, well, shit, when we take a dirt nap, we're going to be consumed by the fauna. Yeah, your body, your physical body will become worm food or you cremate it. But your actual physical body, if you do it right, if you live alive, your physical body will remain alive forever because you are already your physical body. This is just a physical body, if you get what I'm saying. That's over everybody's head. Oh, let's get it right. This is a third dimensional physical body. You have a physical body that transcends all dimensions. Your body, whether you want to say it's a spiritual body, your soul, your light, your embodiment, your complete existence, you have a body above and below this one, all around this one, so to speak. But more in specific terms, you have a body. You have a body. You'd have to think about it in a sense to be like, okay, I'll do this for you. You're Earth, but your sister's Venus. And we live on a planet that transcends, but when we're born into this physical existence and allotted a life where you have appendages, we have things where we're able to build our own simulations, we can get deep on thought, we can communicate with other people, we can drive cars, we can buy houses, we can do all sorts of video game type shit in so many different ways, human life things. We can do human things that we couldn't do as a planet. You can't drive a car as a planet. Now, in another sense, in an ethereal, or the nine ether realms, or the ethereal realms, you have another body inside of that realm where you're not seen as a planet either, but you can also change into different things. Like you might become a dragon, or you might become a fish within this realm. You might become a giant dragon fish. It's different levels to this shit. It's levels. And then at the same time, you can transcend, or you can transform into something that would resemble an angel in so many different ways. Like it's it's much like the movies and the imagination that we use now. Like it's literally that. I don't know, you can't just break it down. That's the human way of saying it. Use your imagination. Believe what you want in life, but know some facts behind your own existence. Breathe. Just breathe. And that's enough to know God. I'm gonna be real with you, because I'm gonna go in here and go to sleep, and it's between God, whether I wake up or not. The same thing is for you, whether I stay asleep or not. To me, it's not like I'm making that choice, because I know it's people that planned to do something tomorrow or planned to do something yesterday, and that plan was ruined when they just didn't wake up. And can't nobody explain it. They just say it's natural causes. You just scratch your head, like back in primitive times when they used to just drop and we'd be like, damn, I don't know what happened to sunshine. Ugga, ugga, ugga. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know. I don't know. Ooga, ooga, ooga. Ah, ah, ah. Ooh. Come on, we gotta go. It's about to rain. Ooga ooga type shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay up, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through the rock with me. It's been one hell of a 2025, year of the wood snake type deal. You know, it's one hell of a one, man. I'm just hoping to see a little bit more, and do a few more. Hold on, let me look through the comments real quick, because I actually been seeing it go off, but once me and the universe start conversing, we start conversing, so keep going, preach your stuff, bro. Appreciate you, venting 1 2 3, 1 2 3. I love Jesus. Thank you for preaching this word, bro. You should. Everybody gotta love somebody. I would hope that. I'm gonna be real. That's my one thing. If we out here doing something, man, I hope people believe in Jesus. Jesus had the right words. He like when you read the book, people like I don't know if everybody paying attention to the same person I'm paying attention, but he kind of in reference to these homeless preachers on the thing preaching their word, and then they say something wrong, and next thing you know, the church is like, go get his ass, and now he's a martyr. It's like, damn, shit. Being an atheist is actually okay. It's your beliefs in yourself and the chance of change in yourself. I can dig that. I'm just saying, you know, as long as you're doing good, I guess as long as it helps, you know. I'm just saying, don't just discredit. Don't give all yourself the credit. You know, it ain't you pulling you up from sleep most of the time, unless you figured out something. Even God doesn't know about the wake up and go to sleep process. And I'm pretty sure what I just said is a contradiction, type of statement. But irrefutable, irrefutable, irrefutable. The man said he rested on the seventh day. I grant you just got to think about that. Think about that. Yeah. Even I was like, why would God need rest? What is going on here? But that's why I went down rabbit holes and I started realizing, you know, there were beings that came from beyond that did some extraordinary things, and now we know them as God. Some of us don't want to accept it, but it is what it is. I can tell you this: the belief in a spiritual father or spiritual presence is the spirit of your ancestors. That is one of the teachings that transcend time. I can't say the technique was superb with how we did it because it's kind of like shooting in the dark. I'm gonna write this down and hope to dear God that they remember this language and that they able to goddamn translate this the right way. Okay. Now we leaving it digital. You notice we leaving digital footprints. You writing books in digital because we like maybe they'll be smart enough to access the internet. And if they access this internet frequency, then they'll remember who we are 1,000 years from now. Hmm. God, which one? Ha! I like that. There are many, but there is only one creator of all things. But just to say that is a contradiction, you guys. It's like God is a family. It's the family that became the family, or the one who thought of family. God is the one who had the most ultimate thought of family. And God technically is just a title. But there is one who sits ahead of everything because it was the first initial thought. Existence. What is it? What is it to be? And ever since then, that's what we've been trying to do. Figure out what it is to just be, to exist. What do we want to exist in? What do we want to do? What are we trying to be? Who are you trying to become? Prove me wrong. About God, I just told you, breathe. Breathe. Your ass have an NDI, you going to know what I'm talking about. Because you meet your higher self and you're going to be like, God? Your higher self might trick you and dress up like Jesus and be like, come. It's an energy. It's one I cannot describe. I just can't quite describe it, but it's real. It feels so warm and embracing, like, until you do something stupid and then, you kind of get the hot feeling and then you pop back out of a coochie and then you don't remember you don't remember what you did in the past life, but something just ain't right. You like something, I gotta do something, I gotta figure something out. Something I did to piss God off that made him rebirth me into this life again. Shit. People can predict, see unseen things. That means time is not a thing. Don't get distracted by a construct made by someone. Just, I mean, to be honest with you, if you really want to know about time, go back and read those Sumerian tablets. I'm pretty sure the Sumerians got some pretty interesting things about Ea and Enki and the Anunnaki and how their story of the Palladians and Draconians mixed in from, European, I guess, dabbling with their books and their imagination, blase, blase. I'm trying to tell everybody, your great 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 greatest grandfather had a self realization of who he was, and that nigga was God. Crazy, crazy. It's all ancestral. Some of it didn't even take place on this planet. hmm It just didn't. It just is what it is. Accept it. You don't gotta accept it. I tried to tell Buddy I didn't believe in the wind until it kept smacking me in the face, and he's like, "But that's the wind," and I'm like, "But that's God, nigga. That's what I'm trying to say to you." Like, I'm gonna be honest. They don't care if you believe in them or not. God just wanted to exist. That was the whole point. It ain't my fault you forgot you was God. That's crazy. All you wanted to do is exist. I'ma oblige and let you do that. I'ma let you do that. I'ma help you do it sometimes. Whenever you pull me into your antics and you want to have some fun, that's the type of level that I'm understanding or the vibration that I'm vibrating on. I'ma help you do it. I'ma be like your angel. hmm A manifested reflection of you, here to help you do what you was trying to do. That's what I am. That's what I am. It's not my fault you forgot that me and you came from one ultimate thought that just got out of control. I'm sorry. I wanted to expand. I wanted to know what it was to be beyond a planetary function and beyond gas clouds and shit and beyond lights of figurative imagination and things that are ineffable, unprovable, infallible, you know, statements that are like, there are no words to truly explain what it is that we could actually just comprehend. We would have to make them up. Mm. We would have to vibrate so high that we become ourselves. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, the proof is in the pudding, though, you guys. Stay up, man. Go make some pudding and then eat it and then tell me how the proof tastes. Get it? The only way to see the light is to peer through the darkness.